Get it? The Bert Show.
Time to get buzzed on the hot goss from Hollywood with Abby. It's the Bert Show's Entertainment Buzz.
I hate learning about behind the scenes of shows that I love because then it just taints the entire thing that I think that I'm watching. But really, if I know that there's some beef behind the scenes, it's going to make me feel some type of way when I'm watching it. And that's how I feel now about the show Queer Eye on Netflix, because there's reports coming out that one of the members is not very nice. And when I say not very nice, the word being used to describe them is a monster. So I'm talking about Jonathan Van Ness, which for context, they use they, them pronouns, which I know is very complicated when you're talking about a group. I'm not talking about a group when I'm reading off these quotes, because people are saying that there's a real emotion of fear around them when they get angry. It's almost like a cartoon where it oozes out of them. It's intense. It's scary. The source is also saying that Jonathan is a yeller and gets into screaming matches with at least one person a week, including crew and cast members. And so now with Bobby, one of the members of Queer Eye, leaving, a lot of people are wondering if his exit has anything to do with the on-set chemistry with him and Jonathan Van Ness. Oh. I know. It's a big bummer, but the rumors that I've also been seeing are Bobby being frustrated with how much work that he puts into Queer Eye and all like the things that he has to do off camera, and he doesn't nearly get as much screen time as the other cast members, and apparently that's caused a lot of conflict with both Jonathan and another member named Tan. So Bobby is off the show now. He's leaving after season 8, and they've replaced him with Jeremiah Brent, who I love from another home improvement show. So bit of a bummer learning that about Queer Eye, but I mean, not too shocking considering they are all divas in their own way.
It is true what you say, though, because I think I told you guys last week I stumbled on Sex and the City, and for whatever reason I started watching it. I think because the remote was 2 feet away and I was too lazy to change it. And watching it now, knowing that Kim Cattrall hated everybody on set is very different. Mm-hmm. It really is. That was years ago.
I know, it's such a bummer, too, because it's a show rooted in like female friendship. So the fact that off camera, I mean, I know they're acting, but it's just like, it was all a lie. Like they're really good at their job. So, I mean, on the one hand, you have to give them praise for the fact that they are able to cover it up so well because the on-screen chemistry is there. But at the same time, it's definitely disappointing that things are apparently very, very different off-screen. Okay, Al Pacino is talking about his very awkward Oscar delivery. So people were talking about this.
Was so bad.
Wow. It was so bad. He was like he was like one of the last people to present, and it literally was just
he was the last person to present the biggest award of the night.
So maybe that's why they ran the Academy Awards early, so the old folks at the very end weren't so tired. So Al Pacino could be up there at 7 o'clock at night.
Oh my God, my favorite is Jamie Lee Curtis. She was one of the first people to present, and as soon as she got done presenting, she was like, deuces, I'm out of here, went to In-N-Out Burger and went home.
Who can blame her? Who can blame her? So Al gets on stage, and he's getting ready to give his delivery on who is going to win this very prestigious award, and it just did not sound like he even cared to be there.
10 wonderful films were nominated, but only one will take the award for Best Picture. And I have to go to the envelope for that. And I will. Here it comes. And my eyes see Oppenheimer. Yes, Emma Thomas, Charles Roman.
People were they didn't know how to react at first because normally it's like this huge applause, right? Well, and you can hear the smattering, and then the music starts playing, and people realize, oh yeah, that's our winner.
Yeah, that's the way he did it. Instead of saying, and the best film, best picture, the Oscar for the best picture goes to Oppenheimer. He says this weird thing in the beginning and made it sound like a question.
My eyes see. What if my eyes saw Barbie? I mean, I don't even think Barbie was nominated, but like, what if my eyes saw something else? You got to be a little bit more specific, Al.
And this is the first year I've ever seen it where right before they're about to announce which movie won. They usually rattle off the names of all of the movies, right?
Well, he addressed that. Do you have that, Abby?
Yeah, so he's clarifying that it was actually the producer's fault, quote unquote, not his. He says, I realize being nominated is a huge milestone in one's life, and to not be fully recognized is offensive and hurtful. I say this as someone who profoundly relates with filmmakers, actors, and producers, so I deeply empathize with those who have been slighted by this oversight, and it's why I felt it necessary to make this statement.
So the Academy was like, they highlighted every film throughout the entire program. So every so often you'd have like Oppenheimer, you'd have Barbie, you'd have, Killer, Flowers of the Killer Moon, whatever. And at the end, he was just supposed to announce the award, which I honestly think is okay if he would have done a better job at it. Like, you didn't have to, everybody knows who got nominated. You don't need to go through it again, but at least make it like a good delivery.
I say this every year because the Academy, I think, and ABC is, I'm guessing, is run by a bunch of gray hair, 65-year-old dudes, that they can't see that people's attention spans and the way that they consume content now is so different. They've got to wrap up the Academy Awards in 90 minutes, and they can do that. All we care about are like 6 categories. Put the rest of it online for the real movie buffs, but the rest of us, it's 6 categories, most 8.
Al, one of the greatest actors of all time, and couldn't even act like he wanted to be there. That's how over it he is.
Got a standing ovation when he came out on that stage. They're playing the Godfather music. Like he had the greatest setup, and then he goes, "My eyes seen open."
Bless his heart.
You know what's so funny about this too? On Twitter, Gen Z was loving it. They're like, the fact that he gave no Fs, love that for him. All right, Millie Bobby Brown says she knows the fate of her Stranger Things character. I'll tell you how she feels about the storyline on your next E-Buzz on The Bert Show.
Get it? The Bert Show.